Hey there, synth drones. Today I asked the question, is Behringer spoiling us? Hi, I'm Pure Ambient Drone, aka James Drone, and this is my channel where I vlog about synthesizers. Hit the subscribe button, tap the bell, keep up with all of my synth adventures, and hey, jamesdrone.com is the place to be to connect with me. Is Behringer spoiling us? Are they giving us too much too fast? Some would say they're not giving us enough quick enough. But I think that perhaps we are being a little bit spoiled. You see, when people get a taste of something that they like, they tend to want more of it, especially if it's not coming to them quick enough, right? So what I'm getting at is Behringer has been making a lot of cool clones. Let's admit, Behringer is doing a pretty good job at bringing back these clones. But they haven't brought back everything people want. In fact, people are still waiting for the CS80 that they've been teasing. They're also waiting for the RD9, the RD6, to name a few. But with that being said, if you go over to the Behringer Facebook groups and you just go through some of the postings that people are making there, they're asking Behringer for everything under the sun, including synthesizers that have trademarks on them currently. They're wanting them to clone everything. I'm surprised people are not sending in their DNA and asking Behringer to make clones of themselves. Well, with all of that being said, it's like, okay, so we have all of these synthesizers that I have in this room. And if you look, I no longer have any Behringers in my studio. The Deepmind 12, for the first time ever, has been shifted out of the studio. And for the first time ever, I don't have any Behringer synthesizers in my studio. Because I have come to the realization that maybe, just maybe, there are other synthesizer companies out there that are just as good, and in some cases better, than the Behringer clones that are coming out. To no fault of Behringer, they're cloning stuff that is decades old, and so there's going to be some limitations unless they've added some modern updates to them. But I am a person who likes some of the stuff that is coming out in today's market, and they have presets and really cool lights. Yeah, I know some people don't like the lights or the green on the System 8. But then you've got the Radius, which is a little bit older. You've got the Virus B, which is a little bit older. And then you've got the System 1M. You've got the Prophet 12. You got the Sequential Rev 2, the Quantum over here, the Prologue, and the PX. Behind me, I've got the Moog 1. All of these are synthesizers that are on the market. Oh, and let me not forget the Phantom 2019 over here. There's so many other products on the market today that we can get caught up playing around with some of this old tech that's been cloned and thinking that this is the only technology that we should get, or perhaps it's the only thing we can afford. Well, I've got news for you. I fell into the trap of believing that more is better. And I found myself thinking, what if I sold a couple of synthesizers and used that money to buy all Behringer gear? But then it came to me that I probably would not be happy with the Behringer gear, because after trying out some of it, I'm just not a no preset synth kind of guy. That's just who I am. I like to have a starting point, and I like to be able to save a patch and be able to come back to it. That's what I like to do. And so I started exploring more options with other synth companies and found out that, you know what, there's a lot of great stuff on the market. Why are we going backwards? Why are we looking backwards? And I really am a believer at this point that even though Behringer has some pretty good stuff out there, like the Model D, that's some really good stuff. I really like the Model D. Even the RD8 is really nice sounding. They're still not up to par with some of the stuff that Roland is doing in the virtual world. They're still not caught up with some of the stuff that Sequential is doing, or even Korg is doing, or even Access Virus is doing, or Quantum, Waldorf is doing. There are so many options out there that we can't get tied up with one synth company and then hope and pray that they're going to make everything for us that we ever wanted, only to be disappointed with mediocre results. Not to say that Behringer is delivering mediocre synths, but let's be honest, some of the stuff that they're cloning is decades old. And being decades old, there's going to be some design limitations unless they add to it. And so I think some people are becoming spoiled thinking that Behringer is the synth savior of the universe. And they're not. They're not innovators at this point. Nothing that Behringer has done in the synth world has convinced me that they're innovative. Not even their Deepmind 12, which is a very good synthesizer, convinces me. And the Neutron is a great synthesizer, but it falls short in many different areas. But to be fair, okay, because this is not a bash on Behringer, all right? This is observation. They're only getting started in this. And I understand why they're doing this. They're taking some of the smaller, simpler designs and working their way up to things like the UBXA. But if I could be so bold to say that if Behringer doesn't pull off the UBXA, if they don't pull off the CS80, if they don't do a great job on those synthesizers, if they don't make this happen, not to mention the monopoly, if they don't get this right, they are going to forever tarnish their image in the synth world as far as cloning goes. And once that happens, they're going to be forced into being innovative. Will Behringer eventually abandon the cloning of synthesizers? Will they finally start getting into their own tech and be innovative like they've done with some of their mixers? Who knows? But with videos like this and consumers like us, perhaps we can push them in the right direction to get away from so much of the cloning that they've been doing and maybe bring us some new product, some new experiences. With that also being said, though, there's nothing wrong with cloning, okay? Nothing whatsoever. As long as it captures the authentic flavor of the original synthesizer that they're cloning, because no one wants to have second best. Some people settle for good enough, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that either. You can make music with anything. But if Behringer wants to be taken serious by serious players, by people who want to spend their money with them, they're going to have to step up their game and be more innovative. In the meantime, they continue to spoil us with teasers, and they continue to spoil us with great product at a great price. I think that's coming to an end. I do believe that as time goes by, Behringer synthesizers, the prices will slowly go up because of what's happening in our world today. Who knows when the next Behringer clone will hit the market and be ready for us synth drones. Well, these are my comments today on what I think is going on in the synth world from things that I've seen and from things that I've heard and from my own experience. But what is your comment? What do you think about Behringer? Let's keep it clean. Let's keep it nice. Let's keep it civil. We're only conversating. This is only a conversation. It's not a war. I love all of you guys. Until next time, I am James Drone. Keep calm and synth on.